Possibly these are military elements firing gunshots. Here we go again. I don't know if you can hear them. Firing automatic weaponry into the air, trying to disperse the crowd, but it is not working. This die-hard core group of protesters, Michael, seem determined to spend the night here on the pro-Mubarak and on the anti-government side. But what's unclear is if the anti-government protesters can even leave the square right now, or whether or not they're pinned in. Michael?
Yeah, I'm curious, what have you learned about the pro-Mubarak group? Was it spontaneous? There were rumours, of course, to the contrary.
There are rumors to the contrary. There are rumors that these were, some of them, police officers who were demonstrating and protesting in plain clothing. There were rumors also surrounding some of the placards that seemed very professionally designed with color pictures of President Mubarak. That's not something that you would sort of have at hand at home if you decided to protest spontaneously. But then it occurred to me as well, speaking to some of the protesters, that there might have been some demonstrators who genuinely were
terribly violent. And for the first time in more than a week, we saw huge pro-regime demonstrations.
We seem to have lost the line there with Hala Garani. We shall get it back. You can see there those pictures earlier, a water cannon being used on the protesters, spraying that crowd there, and you can see the fires in the foreground as well. There were Molotov cocktails used at various points. The rock throwing scene was just incredible. A rain of rocks going back and forth between the pro and anti-Mubarak supporters. You can see the Molotov cocktails there being thrown. Again, extraordinary scenes. And there you see, I'm not sure if this is live. No, it's not. This is live now. You can see people still throwing Molotov cocktails. Those little, this is night vision camera by the look of it, and those bright spots there, fires, Molotov cocktails still being thrown. Late in the evening there. There's another one. Late in the evening in Cairo, and still the fervour, the anger on both sides now continues. All right, well, Ivan Watson has been in Tahrir Square. He was actually on air live when the Egyptian military started spraying water hoses at fires sparked by Molotov cocktails. Why don't you have a listen to his report from a short time ago?
What you're looking at right now is what appears to be the Egyptian military spraying water from hoses in front of the Egyptian Museum at some of the scenes where flames erupted after the pro-regime combatants appeared to have thrown Molotov cocktails, petrol bombs, at the anti-regime opposition. And that appears to have been yet another one thrown up in the air, and now it seems to have caught fire in some tree right there. Now, this area that we're looking at right now, from our camera on a balcony in Tahrir Square, we are within the square with the opposition defenders, basically trapped and surrounded right now. The people inside this square that are surrounded, that have tried to shut off any entry into the square, appear now to be fighting for their lives. And in fact, some of the people on the ground have said things like that. They're saying, I'm going to die here. I'm going to die defending this piece of territory. This has been the symbolic focal point of defiance to the President Hosni Mubarak, who's been in power for nearly 30 years. Until today, for the last several days, the protests here were largely peaceful. They were protected by the Egyptian military, by self-appointed organizational committees who searched and checked IDs. We're seeing some smoke now coming from the direction above this clock tower that you're looking at. And then today, things turned terribly, terribly violent when for the first time in more than a week, we saw huge pro-regime demonstrations. Now you can see that those hoses being sprayed and another apparently petrol bombs being thrown as well. When the fighting erupted, we were standing here, we were caught in the middle and nearly overrun by panicked crowds who were running back and forth. And I saw soldiers climbing into the hatches of their tanks, locking them and basically hiding as the pitched battle erupted. There was a moment, a brief moment, where we thought perhaps the fighting would end. People got in between the two rival factions, in between the stones that were being thrown back and forth and called for peace. Very bravely.